In today's video, we are going to have a look at the Bitcoin price action, and I'm going to check whether Bitcoin next week is going to see higher prices or whether it's going to see lower prices. So guys, let's jump straight into it. At the end of this video, guys, after the analysis, we have a very special guest. We did an interview with Natoshi, and she explains us everything about Fibonacci levels. She also explains us what she expects, what's going to happen with Bitcoin in the short and longer term time frame. It's a very interesting interview, so make sure you check that one till the end. So guys, let's jump straight into it. Bitcoin so far is just moving sideways, right? We broke below the sideways range, and so far below that range we are moving sideways, while the relative strength index actually prints a bullish divergence, right? We have a low in the price, a lower low in the price, and we have in the relative strength index the opposite on the 4-hour time frame. Does that mean that Bitcoin is going to bounce at these specific levels? Well, to be honest, not really. Normally, a bullish divergence is one of the first signals that you see with a trend reversal. But when we have a look at the other signals, like funding rates and premium index, we are not yet turning ultra bullish. We do see the funding coming down a little bit, so that might show us there is a little bit fuel for some upside potential. But we can see that the premium index is coming up, which means that the price is actually getting led by the futures price, which we normally don't want to see. We normally would love to see that the spot market is leading the way and that the futures market is following the spot market. That is generally more bullish. Also, Bitcoin CME futures closed Friday at 29,900. Well, most of the time when we open on Sunday night, we open at the same price where we actually closed on Friday. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin at the end of this day would be trading at the similar levels we are trading right now. Then an interesting chart, of course, which we are watching already for quite some time, is the stablecoin dominance. And for the ones that are new right here on the channel, the stablecoin dominance is basically an inverse chart with Bitcoin. So when this chart is going up, Bitcoin is going down, and when this chart is going down, Bitcoin is going up. And that is actually quite logical, because when this chart is going up, the dominance in the markets of stablecoins is going up as well, which means more liquidity is flowing into these stables. And when this one is going down, more liquidity is flowing into the crypto markets, and of course Bitcoin will catch the biggest rain. That's why the price of Bitcoin goes up when this one goes down. And what we are seeing right here, guys, is we might have a little bit more upside potential left in this chart. We do form some of a falling wedge formation, and this is going to be maybe one of the most important charts to tell us what is going to happen with Bitcoin. And let's have a look on the daily time frame. This pattern is a little bit more visible. So right here we have this falling wedge formation. You can see the relative strength index actually coming a little bit more up than the price. That's a good sign, because we want this to be a retracement. We want this to be a retracement, go up, and then we want this to have a nice continuational move to the downside, because that will mean Bitcoin will push to higher levels, and that is what we all want, right? So this chart is definitely important to watch. If this chart for any reason would break out right here to the upside, we are all screwed. No, but this is really not good for Bitcoin, guys, because that would mean that we might even go to the top of the range right here, meet the target of the falling wedge formation. That would be extremely bearish, because that would bring Bitcoin back to 20,000, maybe even 19,000 US dollars. So I really don't hope this is happening. I would love to see this one breaking down, and once this is breaking down in that bigger rising channel that we have been looking at already, that will also kickstart a massive bull run for Bitcoin, because that means that this structure where we are in since 2019 is losing. The uptrend in the stablecoin dominance will be lost, and then we will go down right here, and then a lot of liquidity will go to Bitcoin. And a change in market structure in this chart tells us that the market behavior among investors also has changed. So when this chart breaks down, it's extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Okay, we will be looking for long positions very soon once Bitcoin reclaims some levels or once Bitcoin is trading in this green box. The exact long positions or updates will be published over on WhaleAlerts. If you are interested in joining, you can do so for free by joining BitGet or Bybit with the affiliate link down below. And guys, right now, let's go to the interview. Let's have a talk with Natoshi. It's very interesting. And yeah, let's check what she got to say. Hello everybody and welcome in today's video. In today's video we have a very special guest, which is Natalie from Natoshi Crypto's YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to listen to what she likes to share with our community. So guys, welcome Natalie. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you so much for being here. So my name is Natalie Natoshi, as you already said, and I have been in the trading world since 2018. So a friend of mine introduced me to it, and I just got hooked because I wanted to have a lot of money. I did not know what I got in myself to though, but I was so determined for me to learn the skill set no matter what it had to take for me. And you know, since 2018, 19 was more when I started to get into the charts very serious myself, and just, you know, started to learn how the technicals were using. I had some few courses, but I was so determined for me to understand this whole basic thing myself.
And what I know from you is that you actually started trading the regular financial markets before you moved into crypto, right?
Yes.
Could you tell us something about that, about the transition?
Yeah, so obviously they were trading forex, and me as a person, I needed something more volatile, so I got into US 30, started to trade US 30. I love the volatility the market did have, and it did teach me a lot of tough lessons, I'm gonna say that. But then I became a little bit more smarter. I started to analyze Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was also very volatile, but not as expensive as US 30 was. So I just fell in love the way Bitcoin was moving with the knowledge that I already had from trading US 30. And that was basically how I got into cryptocurrencies. And now I'm just, you know, I'm working with cryptocurrencies. I have my live streams from Monday to Friday where I go into the charts and just share, you know, what I see on different current altcoins that my community want me to look at. So that's basically how I got into Bitcoin.
And so when you started crypto, like when you started trading in 2018, did you just went directly full time, or did you still had a side job and you like slowly transitioned to full time trading, or how did that went?
So I became a flight attendant at 2018, and that was also when I got introduced to this. So I noticed that I really have to start to do this 100%. So I couldn't be in the air. So I had, of course, I had a job at the side because it took some time for me to obviously learn how to trade the market, and it took some time for me with the psychology as well. And I've learned that it was good for me to have something on the side, so I didn't just expect money from the trading part, because that was obviously very hard for me. But the more I developed, I also got introduced to another company where, you know, where we started to work together with the cryptocurrencies as I do now. So, you know, I have some things on the side, of course, but I just love trading overall, and it's, yeah, that's basically how it is.
And I guess most viewers are asking themselves, like, as a flight attendant, do you have internet on the airplane?
Oh no. I
So
don't.
that must be stressful with trading, right? Like when you're opening a trade, then enter the plane, and I can
Oh
imagine
yeah.
you.
I called them. I said, I'm gonna quit my job now because I got something else for me. And they didn't know at the time what I was supposed to do. I didn't tell anyone about it. So I just did it undercover. And you know, I really wanted to become a flight attendant. That was the whole thing. But trading just swooped me off my feet. And I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do. No, as I said, no matter how hard and no matter how long it's gonna take me, this is my journey.
Awesome, awesome. It is a very good story. Hey, about analysis, I know for a fact that you have a very unique way, a very simple way of analyzing. could you show us a little bit with sharing your screen, like your style of analyzing? Let's have a look at the Bitcoin charts and go over that.
Yes, of course. So I am a price action trader, which means that I follow structure, I follow the technical tools that I have on the charts, and candlestick patterns, etc. I'm using MACD as a guidance for me when I also enter the trade for my Fibonacci levels, because everyone knows that I love Fib, and you'll see in a minute why this is so good. So basically what I do is that I'm looking at the overall perspective, and everyone can see that the market is going down at this time, but the market is still creating a higher low. So overall we are in a uptrend, but looking at the lower time frames now, I do expect the market to drop down a little bit, and I'll show you why. So we can see with the fib level that when we're just dragging the fib from the last lower high that we have on around 48,800, and I'm just connecting it with the lowest point that we have at 15,570. So it's around these levels. So basically you can see the perfect retest that we did have at 31,985. And when the market is reaching the 50%, it's usually reaching the 50% before the 61.8%. So what I can expect from this level is actually a pullback. We can see how BTC has been going up for months now. So expecting a drop, it's healthy for the market before we see the market have the next impulsive move to the upside in this case, and hopefully that's going to happen. But when we are breaking it down even more, so I need to take one other fib from the last low, connecting it with the high, just in case we would see a bigger momentum happening to the downside. So this is just a target that I have in case that would happen. But before that, looking at the lower time frames, we can still see on the weekly how we are creating high highs and high lows. We did fail to create a nice high at this time, but we saw the retest of the 50%, which is very important. So right here, what I also do is that I just connect another fib level from the last high low at 24,725, connecting it with the last high and breaking it down even more to the lower time frames. This is just how I'm connecting the dots. So the previous support got broken, and we saw the market also drop down and retested this level as a resistance. So basically the market is also trading from level to level, and Fibonacci levels is obviously where the market is creating the higher low or the lower high. So I do expect the market in this I do expect the market to drop down to around 28,360 and 27,510. So that is my overall target now that I'm waiting for the market to drop down to. And, connecting it with other technical tools as trend lines, which is very important because trend lines are 90% more respected than horizontal support and resistance zones. So when the market does reach a trend line, most likely you'll see the market reject that level. So as long as we're still below this trend line, we are still in a downtrend. So whether the market on the lower time frame is going to continue up and test the trend line once again, because we are consolidating. So that is just market going back and forth. But when the market, or of course, but with high probability, when the market drops down to the Fibonacci level, the higher low level, usually what happens is that you see the market break below the 61.8%. In this case, this is around 27,500. So what I'm waiting for is the market to give me potential fake outs, because the market will use this level as a support level. So before I'm just going in to buy the market on BTC, I'm waiting for the market to break below the level and then see if the market closes inside the Fibonacci once again, and that will be my entry point. And of course, we can break it down to the lower time frames, because as long as I know that this is the target that I expect the market to come to, when I'm then breaking it down to the lower time frames, I can still add different Fibonacci levels, because the market will always show us what it's going to do next. So I'm waiting for the market to drop down here, and then giving me the confirmation to go in for a long position. Now we all know the market can do a lot of different things, and that's why I don't think the market will drop down to around 24. I don't believe that. But if the market would somehow start to have more bearish momentum, then I'm looking at this level down here, because this is the monthly Fibonacci. So the same thing that I'm waiting for the market to give me around this, this is the exact same thing I'm waiting for down here. So everything depends on when the market's going to start to reverse, but using the price action, and I'm using MACD also as a guidance when we see the cross, and the cross is usually happening inside the 1561.8%. And the long-term target from here, based off the fib that I have, because it looks a little bit differently to the one that people have on TradingView. So basically, if this will be the reverse zone, I'm looking at my first take profit around 33,635. And the long-term target now, if the market would supposed to surpass this strong level that we have on the monthly chart, because this is also the previous support and resistance zone that we do have. We created this as a resistance now. So the guidance, if the market will create and have the momentum up to the 61.8% for the bullish scenario, we obviously have to break above this level and create it as a potential new high and low for the continuation, even more to the upside. And of course, if the market is going to do that, based off that I'm trading from level to level, I'm looking for the market to continue up to the previous high that we have around 50K. But we obviously have to be patient with this, because as I said, the Fibonacci levels are very, very respected. So if we would see the market pull back up to the 61.8%, most likely you'll see how the market's still going to come inside of the Fibonacci level once again. And, for the uptrend, the market's going to create it as a support. But if the market does in some way, because this is still a lower high level that we're looking at, we can see the market break above the fib, slowly, steady breakdown once again, have the fake out, and then, everything depends on how the market is looking at that time, the candlesticks, of course. And if that would be a bigger drop, we do not know that yet. But these are the levels that I'm looking for the confirmation. I need to see a break above this level and have a potential retest, and start to see the market starting to create high highs and high lows for that.
Wow. Well, I really admire your trading strategy, because it's just so, you're so simple. Like, we haven't even pulled up any indicators except for Fibonacci. And Fibonacci is very holistic, because it's actually the mathematical numbers that also rule our universe, and you apply that to the markets. I think it's really nice to see that you analyze in such simplified form, because it's for a lot of people easy to understand, but you're also very accurate in the levels that you point out. So that's really amazing. Hey, and you are teaching this trading style. You are teaching that over on Natoshi Crypto YouTube channel, of course.
Yes.
But you're also building a academy right now, right?
Yes, exactly. So what I have done is basically the tough journey that I've had a really tough journey when it comes to trading. So it looks very simple, but I had to have a lot of tears before I came to this point. So what I created was something that I needed at the time when I started to trade. So I created my own academy, the Natoshi Academy. So this is not only for cryptocurrencies, this is for Forex, index, gold, whatever chart you want to break down, you will be able to do that. So basically, I have a academy from basic, intermediate, and advanced. And on the basic, I have it in Swedish and in English. And then on the intermediate and advanced, we are covering everything in English. So I have the regular videos that they have to go through. And then we have so it's more like a school on my academy. So 3 times a week, I cover only basics for the people that's only, a beginners or need to know about that. Then we connect the dots on the intermediate, how we're connecting all of the different tools together. And then on the advanced, we're going on live charts. And of course, we're talking a lot about psychology, because that is 90%, and how to have a trading journal, how to prepare your trades. And I'm very strict. I'm super strict, because I know how I was when I started to trade, and I know what is needed for us to not, fly away in our thoughts and create this harmonic thing when it comes to trading, because trading is tough. But that's why I want to be the mentor that I never had. So instead of doing all of the things that I did for so long, they can just short it for a couple of years at least. And that's why, I come in as the mentor for my community that is with me.
I always know, like, you can save a lot of money when investing in yourself in these type of courses or mentors and stuff, because if you are making the same mistakes like everyone does, it will be way more costly than invest early on into knowledge and guidance and help. So I really I really like it. Nice you put all the effort to really create an academy and stuff. It looks really nice.
Thank you so much.
Hey, before you still have some bull market targets for Bitcoin, like this year or next year?
So let us go back to the higher time frames perspective. So using the fib once again, I don't have more. So we're going to do this actually. So I'm going to take away some of the things here. So speaking of fake outs, because we have them everywhere. So one of the things that is very important at this time is that when we are using another Fibonacci, because that's basically all that I talk about, but we saw how the market did break below the 61.8%. And remember when I told you that we're usually see the market closing above it. So I'm actually waiting for the second leg now. So this was the first leg. We did break below the 61.8%. And wherever the market is going to pull back down and retest, as long as we're not breaking 20.7 once again, because that is us breaking the 61.8%. But if the market does continue and create this as the new high low, based off the fib once again, the take profit 1 is up at 60,000. So that is slightly above the all-time high. We have the all-time high at 63, but using the candlesticks is very important. So we have take profit 2 at 82,890 and take profit 3 at 103,170. And I'm very accurate with the numbers, because based on how you've seen how the market is testing these levels is very, very important. So, how long it's going to take, as we've spoken about, you are following cycles. That is definitely something that I'm going to start to look at. But I do, I expect it for a maybe, as you said, around 2024, but we definitely have to give the market the space to give us the market structure that is needed. And looking at the trend line on the monthly chart, this is definitely a level the market has to come back up and test whatever the market is going to do after that. But just looking at I think it looks really good, and I'm very bullish on BTC. But I tell everyone that we have to understand that the market goes up and down. So we need to be patient about it. And just because we would see the market giving us a bigger drop, that doesn't mean the market's just going to total reverse to the downside. But just understanding the basic methods when it comes to structure, this is, I strongly believe we're going to, first of all, test the all-time high soon. But we need to have a pullback before that is happening.
You think we possibly could test the all-time high this year still?
What is it? No, I don't think so.
No, not this year. Maybe next year. That's possible.
Next year, definitely, because when the market, what the market has to do, the market has to create the last high low level, because by just looking going back to previous times, the market is always consolidating before you have the big momentum. So when we have the last pullback, you see the candlesticks to the downside and even to the upside, the market is just pushing through it. So as long as the next high low is done, I definitely believe it will not take such a long time before we start to see reaching the next all-time high or even breaking above it. So because you can see how quickly it's happening.
Yes, that's really Bitcoin. Once it goes, it goes. It doesn't look
Yeah.
back, right?
Yeah, and that's why I think it's very important now to understand that we most likely will have a pullback, and on the lower time frames it will obviously look like the whole market's going to crash to the downside. But by just understanding these different levels and how the market is moving, because when the market does have the big momentum from a sideways market, that's usually what's happening. You see the market give you some crazy fake outs to the downside and everyone's going crazy and think now it's over. But at that point, that's when the market does create the power to create the next bull run.
And you're using all these Fibonacci levels over on Bitcoin. And do you use those levels also on altcoins? And are they like a similar, like specific, accurate?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So that's why I always talk about Fibonacci. Some people are a little bit skeptic, but when we're looking at the altcoins too for people, the market is respecting them over and over again. Now, some altcoins, they're very choppy. They move very, very fast. So it's harder to go down and trade these different altcoins. But looking at the higher time perspective, they always test these levels.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, amazing. Fibonacci is kind of crazy how that you got to know how to apply. It's really not easy to like apply it correctly, but once you know how to use it like you do, you can really pick these key levels which are like really important for trading.
Yes, and just trust it, because the more we back test it, the more we have the knowledge about it, we can trust it more and not focus so much on what's happening on the outside, because what happened previous usually happens in the future too. So the market is moving in a specific way, and the Fibonacci is, as you also said, is universal. And why wouldn't it be universal when it comes to the charts?
Wow. Yeah, it's really amazing. Hey, thank you so much for sharing that with our community. Is there anything you still would like to share with us?
I mean, if people want to learn more about the Fibonacci and how I do it, they're more than welcome to be on my live streams that I have on my YouTube channel, because I have it through Monday to Friday. And I always try to explain the market in a very simple way. I always say a deaf person and a dead person would understand me when I break down the charts, because I'm trying to make it very, very simple when it comes to trading, because I know how hard it is.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, I will put the link to Natoshi's YouTube channel down below in the description and in the pinned comment, so you can go and subscribe to Natoshi as well. If you are interested in her trading academy, go check out that website too. The links are all down below in the description. Natoshi, I want to thank you very much for joining today. Yeah, it was really awesome to have you on the channel right here, have you explaining about Fibonacci levels. I think everyone get a lot of knowledge from this, a lot of value from that. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
But okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the interview as well. I personally did an interview over on Natoshi's channel. You should check that out, because we're talking about the macro environment for the regular financial markets and Bitcoin. And I nicely compacted it in a one interview. So I think there's a lot of value in there. Although we are talking often about it right here on the channel as well, it might be nice to just watch to get some different angles from questions Natoshi asked me. So guys, check that out. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, smash up the like button. If you are new, you want to stay connected, make sure to subscribe. Wish you all a beautiful day today, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video.